Before calling an AC technician, here are some common AC problems that you can easily fix yourself. Number one, check your thermostat. So if your system's not cooling properly, another thing to do is come to your thermostat. A lot of people zero in on the thermostat, but there are some legitimate things to focus on. One is just making sure that what's your internal temp versus your set temp. Sometimes we see, in this case, this thermostat right here says holding permanently. But if I take and change it to like away, you can see that goes to 85 degrees. Well, if somebody has randomly come in and changed it to a program, instead of the temperature that I actually have it set, it could get hot in the house. So you have to make sure that your set temp is where it needs to be, and then holding permanently. So you can see that one's got programming. So that's one of the big things on the thermostat that you always need to make sure of. Number two, check your filter. Your filter should be located in the wall, possibly, or in the ceiling. So look for that. If it's not in the wall or the ceiling, it could be in the floor. It's very rare that it is, but it could be. So look for a return grate where a filter is located. When you're trying to check your filter, look for a grate in your home that looks something like this. It could be in the wall, or it could be in the ceiling as well. And that's just real simple. You undo your latches like this and open it up. And a lot of time you have something, a filter that fits in there, something like this right here. And you just want to make sure that filter's clean. So that's the way you check for your filter. If you don't find a grate like this in your home somewhere, possibly it's being filtered at the actual indoor unit. And then you would need to go find your indoor unit. Number three, check your drain. So in homes where especially if you have a system that's located in the attic or in a closet, check your drain, check around the unit, see if you see any moisture present. It could be that your drain pan, emergency drain pan, has filled with water, and this could be causing a wet switch or drain switch of some sort to keep the system from functioning. The primary cause would be a clogged drain, so that drain needs to be cleaned, and then the switch reset so that your system can function properly. So when you're looking at the condensate drain, you want to come to your indoor unit. In this case, we have one in a closet here, and it's in a vertical position, but this could be in an attic, it could be in a crawl space. But you want to come to the drain right here, and you just want to look and visually inspect and see if you see any moisture coming out of the actual indoor unit. If you do see moisture and there's something called a union present, you could actually remove it, and look down the drain and make sure that it's not completely clogged. If it is clogged, you could clean it out, cut it out. A lot of problem areas are right here in the trap. That's where water sits there all the time. So that will clog up really easily. And just flushing that out, if you can get it out and flush it out with a water hose, you'll be good to go. Number four, check your breaker box. It is not uncommon in the middle of the hot summer for especially your outdoor unit that draws quite a bit of power to trip the breaker. To check your panel box, locate it in your home. Typically it's a utility, could be in the garage, could be in a basement, in a mechanical room. Just depends on where your electrician located it. Many people know where it is. So if you want to check for a trip breaker, just come to your panel box and just look over it visually first of all and just see if you see anything out of the ordinary. Almost all breaker boxes, with the exception of one brand that I'm aware of, the breakers when they're on are flipped in. So if right here, if I turn that off, you can see clearly this one's off and that one's on. We're not looking for single pole trip breakers, we're looking for double pole trip breakers. Double pole trip breakers are going to look like this. They have a bar across them. So here we see we got a 60, a 30, 30, 30, 60. Typically an air conditioner, outdoor unit, or an indoor unit is going to run something between a 20 amp to a 60 amp. Could be a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, but not typically. So and it's most always going to be a double pole breaker in our region. So if you find a breaker that's tripped, it's going to look something like this. So this is the off position. This is the on position. The trip position is going to be about right there in the middle. And when you go to press it on, it's not going to go completely on. You will actually have to turn it off, then turn it on. So it'll be right here in the middle. And when you go to try to turn it on, it's going to pop right back. So what you'll have to do is turn it off and then turn it on. Another item that you can check electrical wise, if you don't find anything at your panel box, is just come to your outdoor unit and look at your disconnect and make sure that it's in the on position. Maybe your disconnect doesn't look like this, but most of them will have an on-off position. So here on, obviously you can read that. If I flip it over, it's off. So I have seen at times where someone has either just happened to pull that and not put it back, or maybe they pulled it and flipped it over and didn't put it back. So that's also something that can be checked. Number 5 would be to check your outdoor unit coil and see how dirty it is. If it's very dirty, possibly some cleaning to it would make it so that it would operate more efficiently. Another item to check is your outdoor unit, to look at the coils. Different units have different types of protection over the coils, but on this one, if you can look up inside there and you can really identify if the coils are clean or not. Now, sometimes they look clean, but they actually are dirty. But if there's just like surface dirt and grass, sometimes you can rinse that off and make your system function much more efficiently and cool your home better. Those are 5 things you can check before you call an AC technician.